Hello, so I'm here to show you a little Minecraft mod I've been working on that I call the Minecraft ControlPack. And what the ControlPack is just a little mod that adds some client extensions, some keyboard and mouse commands to Minecraft that help make your Minecraft life just a little bit easier. It makes some of the repetitive tasks a lot easier to deal with. One thing you should know that there's no server mod required, and it does work with multiplayer. So you can use this with single player mode and multiplayer mode, and it doesn't require anything on the server. So like I said, what it does is add a lot of client extensions, so mouse and keyboard commands. And there's about 8 different categories of them that I'm going to show you. I'm going to try to get through them as fast as I can, but there's a lot to do. So bear with me. And I apologize, you can't really see the keyboard, so you're not going to see the keys I'm hitting, so just take my word for it when I tell you which key I'm hitting. So number one, the first group I'm going to show you is the swap left and right commands. And what the swap commands are for is to allow you to temporarily switch to another tool and then allow you to easily switch back again. So what it is, you hold down the swap button. I'm going to hold down the swap right key, and it's switched to my shovel, and when I let go, it switches back to my pick. So what's that useful for? A couple things. One of the things is, one thing that happens to me a lot when I'm down mining in a cave or looking for some resources, there's a lot of stone, but every now and then you run into a big patch of dirt or gravel. And it can be kind of annoying to have to stop and switch to your shovel and back again, since it happens a lot. So what it does allow you to do is, you're mining away, you run into the dirt, you hold down the swap key, you get through the dirt, you let go, and then you keep on mining. It's a nice fluid action. It's a lot easier to deal with. Another thing it's great for is if you're fighting, you've got some mobs after you and you're fighting them off, and you get down to a couple hearts and you need to eat some food real quick or you might die. Well, just hold down the swap button and you got your pork or whatever it is adjacent to your sword in your inventory. So you just hold down the button, you right click to eat it, you let go, and you're good to go. You end up getting hurt some more, well, use the other swap key, and then you've got another one on reserve just sitting there. I've used that a number of times myself. It comes in handy all the time. So that's the swap left and swap right keys. Another thing actually that it's really useful for is, so right now I'm going to hit swap left, and because I'm already on the leftmost tool, it wraps around over to the rightmost tool. And that's dirt, so you're in a cave and you need to get up a little bump, and you just hold down the key, put your dirt down, and then let go. It's nice and fluid and not a big deal. Okay, so those are the swap commands. That's number one. Number two is toggle sneak. So obviously normally you have to hold down the sneak key if you want to sneak, but if you're up high on a sky bridge or you're doing something dangerous and you want to make sure you're not going to fall, it can be kind of tiresome to have to hold down shift for a long time. So now you just hit toggle sneak and you're good to go. You're guaranteed not to fall off, as long as you don't jump. And so that's, puts your mind at ease and you can rest. And rest your pinky or whatever it is you use to hit shift. But the other thing it's really great for is, recently Notch added in Minecraft that when you hold down the sneak key while you're on a ladder, you'll stick to it. But it's kind of useless. It lets you pause for a second, which is nice, but you can't do anything while you're doing that. If I open my inventory, I fall down. Or if I wanted to chat, I'll fall down. So it's great, but it's kind of limited. Well, toggle sneak takes care of that. I can climb up this ladder, I hit toggle sneak, and I'm sticking here. And now I can chat, I can say things, I can open my inventory, I can look at the options, I can do anything, and I'm not moving. I'm not going to go anywhere. So that's great. That comes in handy all the time. Okay, so moving on to number 3, and that's the toggle run command. So I'm going to hit the toggle run command, and now I'm off running. Automatically, I don't have to touch my keyboard. So that's great if you're going to go over long distances. You just want to relax your fingers a little bit so you don't have to hold down the button. Of course, you're going to very quickly run into problems if you just want to sit back and watch your water run, or you're going to run into a hill, you're going to run into water and start drowning. So it's not completely useful on its own, but moving on to the next one, number 4, which is toggle jump. If you use it in combination with that, it gets interesting. So here I'll hit toggle jump, and now I jump up and down. That's kind of useless, right? But if I use it at the same time as toggle run, which I've done now, Now I can just sit back in my chair and I can wait till I get to the other side of this little ocean here. One of the things that's nice about the toggle commands is that you don't have to toggle them again to turn them off. Like if I'm auto running and then I decide, oh, there's a mob or I see some resources and I want to go get them, I can just start running on my own by using the regular forward key, and it'll stop auto running for me. And same with jump. If I jump manually, it will stop jumping. So you can toggle them on, and then when you're done, you just sort of take the controls back, and it lets you. Or you can just hit the toggle button again. Either way. So also if you're going to run into some hills or whatever, if you use auto running and auto jump together, that can come in handy, as long as you don't fall off a cliff. So that was number 4, toggle jump. Moving on to number 5, toggle mining. So that one's interesting. Let me come over here. Now, if you're mining away, you're digging a deep tunnel, you're doing some quarry or something, holding down the left mouse button, that does get tiring. Well, toggle mining just lets you mine away all by itself. You don't have to hold the button. You just have to steer. You still have to move around and do stuff yourself. You just don't have to hold down the mouse button. But that's not entirely true. You can use this in interesting ways by combining all these toggle buttons. So let's say, for example, I want to dig a long 1x2 tunnel. Well, I can just walk up to a block, look down slightly. Now, if I turn on auto run and auto mining, so auto mine and auto run, and then here we go. I'm blazing a path. And see, it does the top one and the bottom one, top one and the bottom one. So that's great. Can kind of sit back for short periods of time and let it do its tunnel. But of course, I might run into a cave, right? And I might fall to my death. So we don't want that to happen. Well, that's okay. Just do toggle run, toggle mine, and toggle sneak all at the same time. So here I'm sneaking, and then I'm going to run, and then I'm going to mine. And now, not only am I blazing a path here, I'm not going to fall down a cave. So, wow, that's very useful. And then you can even go further with that. Maybe while you're doing that, you run into a patch of dirt. You're not even touching anything, right? You run into the patch of dirt, all you got to do is hold down that swap button, swap to your shovel. When it gets through it, you let go, and then you continue on. So, interesting ways to use them all together if you're so inclined. So that's toggle mining. That was number 5. Moving on to number 6 is the measure distance command. So here I put some cobblestone, and if I stand on this block right here, I've got these 2 cobblestone over there. I've placed those so that they're the 10th block from here, and that one over there, that's the 10 blocks from here. Now I hit the measure distance command, and it brings up this UI and says, how far do you want to go? I'll put 10 and hit enter. And it starts running by itself, and when it gets to the 10th block, it stops automatically. So if you're building something, you want something to be a certain dimension, no problem. Just, no more hitting F3 and then doing subtraction, figuring out, is it X, Y, or Z that I'm moving in, that kind of stuff. No problem, just, hit the measure distance command. It even remembers the last one you entered, so, if you're using the same number a lot, you just hit, the key to open the UI and then just hit enter and off you go. So one thing that's interesting about it is what it does is it sort of puts this imaginary box around you. So I'll hit escape to cancel it. So that other one's that direction. How does it know which way that I'm going to be going? Well, it'll start running forward, whatever direction you're facing. But how does it know where to stop exactly? Like, what if I went diagonally? What it does is, that's 10 blocks away, and that's 10 blocks away in that direction. So either one, whichever one I hit first. So I'm going to hit 10 again, and I'll go this way, jump over the little gap there, jump up this hill, and it stops here. So that's one thing that's interesting to know is that it doesn't matter if you're running into any obstacles. Like, I'll do it again, and then I'll fall into this little hole. And it's trying to go, but it can't. I'm going to jump out for it, and it still stops in the right spot. So you don't have to worry about, if you have to run around obstacles or anything like that. Make it daylight again. So that's the run distance, or measure distance command. That was number 6. Okay, so number 7 is the smart furnace. I love this one. I use it all the time. And this is, again, it's not a server mod. I'm not modifying the way the furnace works at all. This is just adding some mouse commands. Okay, so if you want to, let's say I want to cook this cobblestone back into stone, Normally I'd have to click, put it here, click, drag, drop it, and then find some coal. It takes 8 coal to smelt 64 items, so I have to pick up my coal, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then drop my coal back again. So that's kind of a lot to do. It's a lot of mouse operations. It's if you're gonna fill up like 8 furnaces because you're gonna make a whole bunch of glass or something like that, it's kind of a lot of work when you do it a lot. So what Smart Furnace does is add shift click. So let me go over here. Now I'm going to shift click the cobblestone, and bam, it put it up there. What it did is it realized, okay, this is a smeltable item. This is the slot that it belongs in. You obviously can't put it here, right? And then I'm going to shift click the coal, and this is interesting. What it's going to do, it's going to figure out how many you need to smelt the number that you put up here. So I shift click, and bam, it put 8 coal in there right off the bat. I don't have to do anything. And it's doing that at runtime. In other words, like if you have a mod that adds a new fuel or something like that, it can handle it because it's able to look up, what's the burn time for this fuel and how many items are there and exactly how many do I need in order to smelt the correct number of items. If you don't realize that, you might think it's not working. Like you come in here and you shift click your fuel. I'm shift clicking the fuel and nothing's happening. That's because I didn't put anything up here yet. So it's like, well, you don't need any fuel, so I'm not going to do anything. So like, let's put down 9. Yeah, that should take 2, right? So I shift click that, bam, 2, just like that. So now I don't have to worry about leftover coal or having to count how many there are, all that stuff. It's so much easier. The other thing it does, here, let me actually smelt something. Yeah, that should be enough. So, once you're done cooking everything and you've got all this stuff waiting here in the ready queue, you have to, once again, you have to click to pick it up and then find a spot on the inventory and then click to drop it. Well, shift click allows you to drop it back in your inventory. So just shift click, bam, it added it to this stack here because I already had some stone in here. And then, if you had any leftover stuff in here or leftover fuel, same thing, you just shift click it, it'll drop it back in your inventory. Now notice here, there's 6 here, that's because it filled up this one first, or maybe it was this one, I forget, and then it dropped the remaining amount in the first available empty slot, because I had, leftover after that. So, great, I mean, I use this all the time, and it makes me like a ninja with filling up my furnaces. It takes no time at all. Okay, so that was number 7. Now number 8, this one is one of my favorite. This is the last one, and how often is it that you're out and about and a mob is chasing you and you're down to a couple hearts, you've got a bunch of gold and diamond on you or whatever, and you really don't want to die because you have no idea where you are because you're in deep cave systems or something. So you start running away. Oh no, there's a creeper after me. Run, run, run. Oh, how do you know when he's done chasing you, right? He started charging you, so you started running. When does he stop charging you? How do you know? Well, the only way to know, of course, is to stop and turn around and see if he's there. Or you can sort of try to go sideways and then look at this. The command is look behind. So it's kind of like your rear view mirror. So, I'm here and, oh no, there's a creeper chasing me. I run away. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the middle mouse button. Bam, looks behind me, let go. Hit the middle mouse button, looks behind me again, let go, keep running. So it's your rear view mirror. And you notice like kind of what it does, it kind of turns. It's like you're looking behind your shoulder. It's like you're glancing behind your shoulder as you're running. So while you're doing that, it's not like you're actually turning around. It's just glancing. So you're still able to run forward. Like right now, I'm just holding down the forward button and I'm still running forward even though I'm looking backwards. Okay, so that's the last command, and you should know that all of the keyboard commands are configurable if you don't like the default bindings. These aren't the default bindings, I've changed them for me because I'm left-handed. That's pretty much it. I mean, I've got some other ideas that I'm going to be working on to add to this. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment and let me know. Or any issues you run into, please let me know. I'd like to help out. Thanks. Bye.